Welcome to your comprehensive interactive study breakdown on inheritance, variation, and evolution. This is arguably the most fundamental topic in biology because it explains the instructions that build every living organism on Earth. In this topic, we explore how genetic information is stored in DNA, how it is passed from parents to offspring through reproduction, and how this leads to the incredible variation we see in populations. This topic is crucial for your GCSE exam because it bridges the microscopic world of cells and molecules with the macroscopic world of entire ecosystems and species evolution. Examiners love to test this area because it requires you to apply knowledge. You won't just be recalling facts, you'll be predicting genetic outcomes using Punnett squares and explaining complex mechanisms like natural selection. Expect a mix of calculation questions, short factual recall, and extended 6-mark responses where you must logically explain processes like selective breeding or evolution. Let's map out the core concepts. DNA is the chemical that makes up our genetic material, a polymer of 2 strands coiled into a double helix. The genome is the entire genetic material of an organism, and understanding it allows scientists to search for genes linked to diseases, understand inherited disorders, and trace human migration. Alleles are different versions of the same gene, and they determine whether a trait is dominant or recessive. The genotype is the genetic makeup, while the phenotype is the physical expression resulting from the genotype and environment. Turning to our core study notes, there are 2 types of reproduction, sexual and asexual. Sexual reproduction involves the fusion of male and female gametes, producing offspring that are genetically different from each other and from their parents. This variation is a key driver of evolution. Meiosis is the special cell division that produces gametes. It reduces the chromosome number by half, so when gametes fuse during fertilization, the normal number is restored. Meiosis also shuffles genetic material, increasing variation. Now let's walk through the process of predicting inheritance. A monohybrid cross looks at a single gene with 2 alleles, 1 dominant and 1 recessive. We use a Punnett square to show all possible combinations of alleles from the parents. For example, if both parents are heterozygous, the offspring genotype ratio is 1:2:1 and the phenotype ratio is 3:1 for dominant to recessive. This is a classic exam question where you must state the phenotype of each offspring. Let's work through a 6-mark exam question on natural selection. To secure full marks, you need to explain the process step by step. Start with mutation creating variation. Some bacteria have a mutation that makes them resistant to antibiotics. Then, when antibiotics are applied, the non-resistant bacteria are killed, but the resistant ones survive. They reproduce, passing on the resistance allele. Over time, the population becomes mostly resistant. This is a clear example of evolution by natural selection. Watch out for common pitfalls. A frequent mistake is confusing a genome with a gene. Remember, the genome is the entire genetic material of an organism, while a gene is a specific section of DNA that codes for a protein. Another pitfall is forgetting that gametes are haploid, they contain half the number of chromosomes. In Punnett squares, always label the parent genotypes and the gametes they produce to avoid losing marks. Examiners also expect you to use key terms like pollele, homozygous, and heterozygous correctly. To wrap up, remember that DNA is the double helix molecule that carries genetic information, and the genome is the complete set of genetic material. Alleles are different versions of a gene, and they can be dominant or recessive. Meiosis produces haploid gametes, which fuse during fertilization to create genetic variation. Use Punnett squares to predict inheritance patterns. Finally, natural selection is the process where individuals with advantageous traits are more likely to survive and reproduce, leading to evolution. Master these concepts and you'll be well prepared for your exam.